Today we're going to be talking about how to hold eye contact longer to improve your communication. So this is something that was asked by a YouTube subscriber of mine. I don't know if he's a subscriber. I think he is. I asked it on my personal YouTube post and he responded. So I assume he's a subscriber as well. But the question was, he basically had problem with keeping eye contact when communicating, often because he was self-absorbed. So how do you actually keep eye contact for longer? First off, I think this is a great question, a often underlooked, underrated aspect of social skills. And I started picking up on this tip to keep eye contact when talking when I started to study great communicators and great communication tips. And something that kept being brought up was clear eye contact. And that doesn't mean eye contact where you never blink, because that would be creepy, or eye contact where you never look away. But eye contact for periods when you're delivering a effective message and you keep your eyes focused on the person you're talking to. When I look back on my behavior at the time, I realized, oh wow, this is important, but I suck at it. Oftentimes when I would talk, and you can check my old videos to see, when I would get into a concept that I really wanted to think about, my eyes would go upwards because I was thinking deeply about that concept. While this is good in certain moments, doing that too often can sometimes almost lead to a form or perceived sense of disengagement, or that they're not really there, or you're not really just using your body as an instrument as effectively as possible, and you're missing out on the ability to keep that person wrapped in. When your eyes are everywhere but that person you're talking to, they might think you're distracted, even if they consciously know that you're there and you're present with them. Because you keep looking around, it can sometimes come across as an unconscious thing where they're just thinking, man, maybe this guy is like off in his own world or not really interested in talking. So how do you actually start to remedy this, and how do you actually improve this point? I think it comes down to practice. Start with baby steps and work on it. When I got more aware of it, I didn't improve much when I practiced. But I was more aware. I was like, oh, I did it again. And I became more aware of it. Sometimes I would forget in the entire conversation. Other times I would start to remember more and more. And as you can tell, all of a sudden over time, as the months progress, years progress, all of a sudden you're operating on a higher level, because when you're communicating, you have certain dials, certain meters, and metrics to monitor. Whereas the average person, he doesn't know what to monitor, what to do, and he's often screwing up without him realizing it. So eye contact, very crucial thing, very important. Something that even in this video, I'm practicing looking at that camera lens while filming this. It's something that takes practice. It's still something I'm not great at, but it's something that everyone can work on and you can get better at. You don't need to just drill in for 2 minutes straight and looking. If for some reason you end up looking away, that's okay. If you can do it 2 seconds longer, 5 seconds longer, that's a great start. As long as you keep consistently practicing, that's fine. Now, what makes it a bit harder is the fact that when you are thinking about something important, you forget that you're looking away. And even afterwards, when you come back, you don't even notice that you did it. So to take it a step further, another thing you could do is film like me and then post it, watch the video, and analyze. I think a lot of people end up beating themselves up too much as beginners, and they're like, oh my gosh, I screwed up so many times. But you don't necessarily have to beat yourself up that much. Everyone kind of sucks at certain things. Sometimes it's saying like, and too often, or at all in a conversation, or public speaking event is bad. And I've been to like Toastmasters meetings where people would just beat themselves up because the counter said that person spoke 18 ums. But think about it. If you're a beginner, you're just not going to do well, and that's the norm. Everyone kind of sucks initially. And so it's not about where you start, it's about if you are improving. And it doesn't have to, maybe it doesn't even should be rapid progress, because some things just take time and work. And so for me, this is such a simple thing that anyone can work on, because most people end up having conversations almost every day, or at least every week. And that's some free practice that you can get in, something that you can work on that many others aren't. And it's one thing that can improve. And depending on your goals, you may not need to, do it like me and just practice for these 10-minute long videos. You could do something simpler, such as just, for example, working on your goal of having more eye contact and talking to your friends, because they sometimes feel like you're disengaged and you want to remedy that. Like this viewer who asked this question, he's probably just concerned about it in regards to certain short encounters with people where he wants to show more appreciation and focus and attention while he's doing something. And just based off all the other details in his question, it seems like it's not about these long public speeches, it's about those moments. And so for those, you may not have to stretch it as long and just keep eye contact all the time, but you can start to work on it. 20 minutes more, or 20 seconds more, 10 seconds more. And I guess the last thing is distractions. So the phone is obviously one of the biggest ones, but you have to identify those distractions and then put them away. Think about it. When I have something important, a meeting, something I have to attend to, even just a conversation that I know is important, I take my phone, I put it in my pocket, I put it face down on the table, I put it face down at a distant table, whatever needs to be done, silence it, whatever, so that it is no longer a physical distraction for me. When that thing's there right in front of you, it has billions of dollars from all these social media companies and all this stuff that's invested into these apps to really grab your attention. It's a losing battle. So by not even having it close to you or showing its screen, you're making a physical effort to basically distance yourself from very clear distractions that are going to prevent you from having clear eye contact and appreciating conversation. And hats off to you for asking this, because that's something that most people are not even sensitive enough to care about, but those things really do matter. I've definitely seen, and I've definitely been in situations where I was, or other people were a little ticked off when they saw someone who wasn't really talking to them, or they were, but they had a phone in their hand that they were looking at. And after a while, at least for me, I'm just like, man, is this person even listening to me or anything? And so that just sucks, because sometimes they aren't. Sometimes they are, and you can't tell because they're on their phone. And so that's something you have to keep in mind. So hopefully those tips help, but I think it's something totally doable. It's not a ridiculously complex, hard skill like Olympic diving or something like that. It's something everyone can learn with just a little bit of dedication, hard work, persistence, and consistency. That's something all of us can cultivate and build and grow. And sooner or later, you're going to be even better than me. Keep it up.